Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jocelyn and this is where I share all things Bring Back Paper with you. What I wanted to do today is I just wanted to quickly pop on to talk to you about the Pen Pal sign up that I'm running this month. I run these usually once or twice a year alongside various other Bring Back Paper activities. If you've not seen anything like this or you're new to it, I'll drop a link below about Bring Back Paper for you. But I run different activities throughout the year, things like book swaps, stationery swaps, postcard mailings, and then I do a Pen Pal sign up, typically once or twice a year. It takes a lot of time, which is why I only tend to do them once or twice a year, because it's sort of days worth of trying to match people up, because I want to do a good job for you all. I want to try and make sure that I am putting you with the right people so that you do form good pen pal relationships. So it's really simple to do. I'm going to put the link below for you because all of the details are on my blog today. All that you need to do is send me, and there'll be a list on my blog post. The easiest thing to do is probably just to copy and paste what it is that I need, pop it over onto your email, and then you can just fill in all of your details alongside what I've asked you to send me. It's not a huge amount, it's just enough for me to be able to match you up with people. How I tend to then do this, for those of you who haven't done this before or perhaps are just curious how I do it, when I first started out, I used to wait until the deadline, then I'd write every single person's details down and match them up. That became challenging, onerous, shall we say. So what I tend to do now is I sign people up in batches. So typically when I first launch, well, any activity, but certainly the Pen Pal sign up, when I first launch an activity, I will get probably a raft of emails in within the first few days of launching that. So I'll probably sit down that first weekend and start to match people up and get emails out. After that, I just get basically a steady trickle then until the deadline. I think this one is open, I think it's a couple of weeks. The details are in the blog post. I think you've still got a couple of weeks to sign up. And then I will look for, it's usually two things that I'm looking at mainly: where you're looking to write to, and obviously your hobbies and interests. You can specify, you see, a lot of people do specify that they want to stay within their own country, which tends to be okay, depending on the country that is your own country. I get, for your information, I get the vast majority of sign-ups are from the US. So if you want to stay in your own country and you're in America, the chances are that I'll be able to do that without any real difficulties. I would say probably the second biggest sign-up rate that I get is then from the UK, which is where I am. And after that, I will usually get, I mean, this is, who knows what I get each time around. It's completely different, obviously, every time, but based on the previous ones, loads from the US, quite a lot from the UK. Then I'll usually get a handful of people from Europe. I say handful, yeah, I'm getting more and more actually from Europe. I've usually got a few people in Australia, maybe a few people in Canada. And then it's sort of, after that, the chances are, if you, for example, are watching this and you are in Vietnam, I'm going to need to match you with someone outside of your country. You're probably going to be the only person that's signing up from there. So you can specify whether you're looking to write to people in your own country or whether you'd rather have international pen pals. A lot of people say either, they're not too bothered. It's, you know, they're more interested in being matched perhaps with somebody with similar interests. It doesn't really matter to them where they're writing to. I know some people are particularly interested in writing to people outside of their country to get different insights, to learn a bit more about perhaps different people's culture. So you can specify either way. Some people do specify sometimes that they would absolutely love a pen pal from Ireland. I do my best to put it on there. If you've got like a certain country that you'd really like to make a connection with, you might as well put it on there, just so that I know. I can't guarantee it, obviously, because it entirely depends on who else signs up, and it depends on whether it looks like you'd be a good match based on your interests as well. But put it down, there's nothing to stop you. And then I do know, and I have managed to do a few like that in the past for people. I also, what else? So it's usually I'm then matching based on interest more than anything else. That's the thing that I look at, as well as mailing preferences to where you want to mail to. I do tend to match people up with who are the same gender. That's simply because I have had people in the past come back and say, oh, you know, I'm not comfortable writing to a member of the opposite sex or whatever. So I tend to match the same gender, and the vast majority, I'm going to say 95%, if not more, of people that sign up to Pen Pal sign up are women. But that doesn't mean, you know, if you want to put on there, I'm open to writing to absolutely anyone, that's fine. I'm just trying to do it by what the majority of feedback that I tend to get is. But I'm happy if you put a note on, I'll absolutely look at other things for you. What else? Always check your spam in case I've sneaked into there. I do sometimes. It's probably easier to just whitelist my email address as you go through when you sign up. If you whitelist my email address, you won't miss it. I think I've put the final sign up date as the 20th, 21st July, something like that. Again, just checking the blog post. And what I tend to do is I tend to wait probably a day after that in case there's some little stragglers sneaking in, and then I would probably send out the final round of sign up emails. So if you haven't heard from me by the end of the month, search through the spam, because I will have replied to you. I will definitely have sent everything by the end of July. And as I say, in many cases, because I know I'm going to get a batch of people signing up straight away as soon as I launch this today, I will get loads of emails. There'll be one going out within the first week as well, so just keep your eye on it. Some people are obviously easier to match than other people. Some people might have more unusual interests and hobbies. Doesn't mean I won't find you a match. Again, I've seen all sorts of different things come through and all sorts of matches, but again, some people are easier to match in that respect than others. So if your hobbies you think are perhaps a tad niche, it's absolutely fine, put them down, but it might just take a little bit longer because I might be waiting to try and get you a more perfect match. Can't always do it, you know, it depends on what comes through. And what I tend to do, some people will stand out because they'll have, like, I tend to ask for 5 hobbies and interests from people, and some people will have 5 that are all perfectly the same as this person. Easy match, job done. But then after that, I just try to sort of comb for 1 or 2 interests and that you might have in common. I also put on my email that you can send across your age if that's a thing for you. Entirely optional again. I know some people might prefer to write to people close to their age. Some people that might not even be a factor for them, and some people might be just more interested in interests, or they actually might prefer to write to someone in a certain country rather than their age being a factor. I'm not trying to make things like age, where you are, gender, things like that a factor. They're not necessarily. You can have an amazing pen pal match without any of those things coming into play. It's just from experience, from doing quite a lot of these, it is a factor for some people that are signing up, which is why I tend to ask for those types of details on the sign up. But feel free to specify if you like. I'm 42, but I couldn't care less whether I'm writing someone who's 18 or 90. It doesn't matter. Just let me know. It's fine. I do ask that everyone is over 18 for the sign up, but obviously there's no upper age limit beyond that. I think that's everything. I really enjoy doing these. They take a long time. And what often happens, so please, if you're watching this, please don't be one of these people. What often happens is, even though I ask for these very specific things, someone will get really excited, bless them, and they'll just go, yay, put me in the sign up. And I'm like, I need these details, I need your address, or they'll send their address and they won't send their hobbies, or send the hobbies, won't send the dress. You wouldn't think that people wouldn't do that, but it happens, and I do think it's overexcitement generally. But it adds to the admin of it. So if you could send them in that specific order, that would be great. One of the things that I request, I tend to say name, address, email address. And a lot of people don't do the email address because they're probably thinking, she doesn't need my email address. She's got it because I've just emailed from it. I do. Please put it there, name, address, email address, because it just hugely speeds things up for me, because I like to always give the next pen pal an email address in case of difficulties. So I need it there, because otherwise I'm sort of I'm in and out of emails. I've paired people up on paper, obviously on paper, it's all planned out. I then go to my computer and I'm in and out, and I will be copy and pasting. So Lisa from Huddersfield, I don't know, Lisa from Huddersfield, right, you're going to write to, you need to be having these details here of Penny in Kathmandu. And so I just copy and paste it and put it straight over onto Lisa's email by reply. And that's so much faster, because I can just copy and paste what you've written. Because if you haven't put the email address, I'll copy and paste it, then I have to come back out of that draft to go back into your email again to get your email address and copy and paste it and go back in. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got loads of them, and I do have loads of them, it just speeds things up for me. So please, if you can, just write them in that format that I've requested on the blog post down below, and that will be super. Thank you. And that's it. So that's how I do it. I look for matches. I'm not going to lie, I get really excited when I see like a perfect match. I get really excited. I'm like, oh, this person's gonna be thrilled. And oh my goodness, if they've got the same hobbies and they specifically wanted to write to someone who lived in Sweden, even better. I do really enjoy seeing people come through and seeing the matches. Some hobbies I see over and over, so they're easy to match. Books come up a lot of people love reading. A lot of people surprisingly love writing letters. What else is quite a common one that I see? Cooking, baking, animals, what else? Gardening, travel, photography, theatre. Those are the types of things, movies perhaps, that come up quite a bit. Feel free to put as much as you want on there. I ask for 5 hobbies and interests because that enables me to have a good feel for matching people up. If you want to put more, it's fine. You know, it might help me match you. It might not. So don't sit there like trying to put like a life story down. Don't do that. Please don't do that. 5 hobbies and interests is fine. But if you think actually, and I'm really into this as well, and you think it might be fun to be matched with someone who has a similar thing, you never know. I never know. I think that's what I quite enjoy about doing these. I don't know who's going to sign up. We just never know. Once I've sent all of the emails out, everything gets deleted, permanently deleted, so that I'm not storing any data. So keep the emails is what I'm saying. Please keep the emails. It can be handy to join the Bring Back Paper Facebook group if you are on Facebook. I know not everyone is. Just because a lot of people do hang out there, and I've known a few people occasionally have lost someone's address. I haven't got it. I haven't kept the record of it. When I write stuff down and thinking about it from your point of view with data, when I do write stuff down on a piece of paper, I would never be writing down like addresses and emails and things. I'm literally, for my purposes to match people up, it's your name, your country, because that's relevant to my matching, and hobbies, and I match them all up, and then it's all done on the computer, and then it's deleted. So I don't know what I was on about. In the Bring Back Paper Facebook group, if you have perhaps mislaid someone's details, that can be a really good place. I've known quite a few people who have managed to relocate someone that they have been writing to, and they've just, you know, it happens, they've lost their details, and they've put a shout out in that group and then managed to find them. So that's quite a good place to go as a backup plan. And the last thing, I suppose, on that subject with people's details, to know is how I normally do it is you will get an email with your 2 people that you will write to. They are your new pen pals. Those 2 people will not know that you are writing to them, okay? Because they'll have had another email and they will have had 2 people to write to. it's like a chain, a cycle. So when you write to your first couple of people, please put your address on there so they can write back. I will put that in the email when I send it. Don't worry, I'll put everything you need to do and all the details in your sign up email. You'll have everything you need to know. But just a little reminder, because that has happened before. You are writing, okay, I do it that way just to keep it really simple, so that, because some people have 2 people that they write to, but then they might have 2 people writing to them, it becomes a little bit clunky. And also, and then I'm kind of going, oh, but can you wait for that person to write to you first, and that person write to you? So I tend to just go, right, Sarah, you are writing to Claire and Louise, bum bum bum, that's their details. That's not too daunting either. Most people are quite happy to write a couple of letters, pop them in the post. That's those. But then you will then get, which I think is fun, a nice surprise of at least one other person, potentially 2, maybe even 3. Just depends on how many people sign up and how easy it is to match you, and whether you get lots of different matches. So you then might get a letter in the post completely out of the blue from Debbie. You didn't know anything about Debbie. This is exciting. She's introducing herself. She's also a new pen pal now. And Debbie will have put her address on that. She needs to have, so that you can write back to her. That makes sense? I think it makes sense. It's never, everyone's managed to do it before, so that sounds complicated. I've explained it badly because it is quite a straightforward thing. You'll get 2 people, write to them. Out of the blue, you'll get 1 or 2 other letters. They will have their address on. They are also Union Pen Pals. So generally in a pen pal sign up, as a minimum, generally speaking, if you are quite easy to match, you will usually get 3 or 4. Sometimes you will get 5, maybe even 6, but that's quite unusual. That might just be if I get a few latecomers at the end and I need to give them someone's details to write to, and you might be a spectacularly popular or good match for a load of people. Generally, I would say you're looking at 3 or 4. You usually have 2 to write to. You will get 1 or 2 writing to you. And that's it. Does it all make sense? I hope so. Do give me a thumbs up. I'm really looking forward to it. This video is going to go out the day that I launch it, the same as the blog post. Again, blog post is linked below. Everything you need is in that blog post. So if you want a pen pal, if you've never had a pen pal before, do not be scared. Do not be put off. This is your chance. Loads of people in the sign up. I get a really good mix of complete newbies who are really excited because they want to write letters. They've never done it before. I get a mix of people who used to do it years ago and are really keen to get back into the habit. And then I get those people who have tons and tons of pen pals and they just want a few more. It's a great mix. So don't be scared. If you've got loads of pen pals, if you've joined the sign up before, join in again, it's fine. If you've never done this and you're thinking, this sounds like really good fun, but what would I write? What do I say? Is it going to be a weird thing that I'm doing? It's not weird. I have loads, it's quite normal. But again, I will, when I send the email out to you, I will send a few links that will help you get started with your first letters. And I will link below underneath this video as well. I've written quite a few blog posts about how to first start pen paling, so that for those of you who think it's a little bit scary, a little bit daunting, hopefully those posts will help you out. So I'll put that down there. So this is it. This is your chance to get yourself your very first pen pals or brand new pen pals if you've been writing to people for a while. So take a look at the link down below. Give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the channel. For more papery posts, I share stationery, books, Happy Mail, pen pals, and I think going forward I will drop on here regularly and let you know of the activities that I'm running as well, so that you'll be able to follow along with the channel. That's everything then, guys. Thanks for watching.